Welcome back to the Sooner Surge, and the portal continues to be big for Oklahoma. This time they're adding a wide receiver. They lost a lot in that wide receiver room, specifically Brendan Thompson as their speedster. They get their speedster for this class in Isaiah Sategna from Arkansas. Three-star wide receiver, 5'11, 185. Ran a lot of track in high school, extremely quick. Also returns punts, so maybe that's something you could see for him at Oklahoma. But three-time state champion in track, set a few state records as well in Arkansas. So three-star transfer, their third wide receiver of this class.
Yeah, and Hunter, I actually got to watch him in high school, and he does stretch the field big time, and that's what you get with a guy like this. You mentioned Brennan Thompson earlier. You could kind of see a similar style of play, I think, with Sategna. But I'm interested to see how they're going to use him in Ben Arbuckle's offense. I think he is a guy that, yeah, you can stretch the field deep, but also with the screen game, he could be really good at. So I think this is a good addition for Oklahoma. A guy, when he left Arkansas, was wondering where he'd end up. And I think this is a good get for Oklahoma. This adds your third wide receiver out of the transfer portal now to start filling those gaps that they had. Gives you a little bit of experience in playing in the SEC, which I like. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what he does in an Oklahoma uniform, guys.
Yeah, I think for me, this might be the most underrated addition that Oklahoma is going to get as a transfer, just due to the fact of speed that he has, as you guys have said. Jason, you talked about how good he was at running track in high school, maybe the best in the state of from where he was from. And so when you just talk about the ability for things that he can do in a Ben Arbuckle offense, he's gonna have the ability to stretch the field. You can use him in the slot potentially at times while using even him on the outside as a threat as well. So that's something I think that'll be interesting to see is how he's used. But I think his value maybe might be underrated just due to the fact he maybe had 400 to 500 yards. So really, whenever you see the stats, they don't jump off the page. But I think in this offense with John Mateer not being his QB, and you would think the offensive line is going to be much improved. And just to have more wide receiver depth, hopefully they can get him the ball down the field, maybe even use them in some jet sweep actions, which the Oklahoma fans hate to see. But with the guy that has that kind of speed, there's so many unique ways that you can use him to open up the game and create explosive plays for your offense.
Yeah, and I think Jay said it good on how are they going to use him in Ben Arbuckle's offense. That was something with Brendan Thompson in particular. I mean, he dealt with a lot injuries at both Texas and at Oklahoma, and then just this past year with everyone being down, they weren't and just everything else going on. They weren't able to find a role for him as a speedster. So that's going to be something with Sategna that they're going to have to figure out. They're going to have to figure out how to get that guy the ball either in open field or down the field. And then also, as of note, back to the returning as a returner. That's been something that Oklahoma really, Peyton Bowen this year didn't work out like a lot of people, myself included, thought it would. I thought he would have been an unbelievable returner because of how good he was in high school. Sategna has done it now for multiple years at Arkansas,
Hmm.
and he was an all SEC freshman as a return man in 2023 as a redshirt freshman. So that's something to note. He's done it in the conference already. This year, he returned a kick for a touchdown, 88 yards. His freshman year, he had over 500 kick return yards. So 680 total return yards there. So maybe that's something that Oklahoma can get him with Doug Deacon and figuring that out as a return man as well.
Yeah, I think Oklahoma fans are going to really like him because he is very explosive. A guy that he can literally, when he gets the ball, he might house call it. He's got that type of speed and kind of explosiveness. But you look at not only him, but you look at what else they added in this class, guys, so far in the transfer portal at wide receiver. You got Javion Gibson, you got Keontae Lewis. I mean, that's three now that the big thing to me, I don't care where they played. I understand that, but you're bringing in at least guys that have played and produced. So, because
Hmm.
if you look at other than Burks coming back and Jaden Gibson, all those guys that played last year as freshmen They didn't get a whole lot of catches. And to be fair, they probably shouldn't have been playing last year. They were freshmen, true freshmen. You know what I mean? So now you got guys in that room that with experience, and it's starting to piece together. I think with a good group, still some maybe another one out there. We'll see, but I like this portal class at receiver so far.
Mhm.
Yeah, they'll have to take at least one more.
I think they'll take one more.
At
Yeah,
the bare
yeah.
minimum, they lost 6 guys to the portal. They only brought in 2 as freshmen.
Mhm.
Entering the week, they had 5 committed, 2 of them decommitted, kind of nudged that way. Brent talked about it as well, of what they have and kind of the situation that they're in where they need production immediately. And so I would think they get to at least that total of 6 incoming wide receivers there, if not even 7. Jacob Jordan's also on scholarship, so
Mhm.
that's another scholarship there. But I think they add at least one more. And Giovanni Gibson is, of the 3, I think he's the best. 6'3", 205.
Oh.
Played at HBCU level at Arkansas Pine Bluff, but 1,200 yards receiving, 17.4 yards per catch, and 9 touchdowns. Then Keontez Lewis as well, from Illinois, committed to UCLA out of high school. That didn't work out. Goes to Wisconsin, had a good year 1 there. Sorry, 313 yards and 3 touchdowns. Year 2, he only had 1 reception. Then he goes to Southern Illinois, has 790 yards and 5 touchdowns with a long of 65 yards. Also had a 57-yard reverse jet sweep touchdown. I believe that was against Incarnate Ward, if I'm not mistaken, for him,
Mhm.
which is one of the best teams they played all year. So,
Yeah.
and this class is starting to round out. They just need 1, maybe even 2 more guys that are high on their list. Jaron Bradley, in particular, if he chooses Oklahoma. Other teams are pursuing him as well, the former Tech and Boston College transfer.
Yeah, and I think whenever you talk about all the wide receiver additions that Oakland was able to add, they really kind of hit on all things. You have Sategna with speed, Giovanni with maybe more like your big guy that's kind of going to be like your athletic freak. I guess you could say 6'3", 6'4". Then you have Keontez Lewis, who's kind of your do-it-all wide receiver. So I think Oklahoma, they did an extremely nice job here with just all the guys they were able to add. And I think, in which a wide receiver core that I think there's maybe some guys that they're adding that kind of need to prove that they can make plays in the SEC, but I think it's going to add for a lot of healthy competition when it comes to spring and fall, and hopefully a wide receiver room that can stay healthy this year, and what should be a fun wide receiver room in Ben Arbuckle's offense.
Yeah, and you know, we didn't see it a lot last year, but if you watch any stuff on Ben Arbuckle and the offense, they do run 5 wide sometimes, which you need some speedsters in that. You need some big guys. So I like what they're doing, but I am at a wait and see. That's what, and it's pretty sad at Oklahoma. I think that you've had so much good offense at Oklahoma, but the bad offensive year they had has me at a wait and see, because and that's only 1 year of a bad offense. They had Levy, and it's like it was so bad it set me like I got to wait and see. But I do like what they're getting in the portal as far as different types of receivers. They're not all big, they're not all small. They got different types. I like it, and I'm excited to see these guys in an Oklahoma uniform. So we'll see. We'll see what Sategna. I'm interested to see with Burks coming back. Similar, what does that look like for him? You kind of saw with Brennan Thompson. He's not going to be an every down receiver, but he's going to make an impact. I think he's going to make an impact. So
Yeah.
Hey, what's that? Oh, I thought you said something. All right, guys, appreciate you watching the video. As always, as the Sooners get another wide receiver out of the transfer portal, Isaiah Sategna, make sure you hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications, and check out the Fan Stop. Appreciate you watching. Till next time.